guys, welcome to Merry Game Kill. I'm MK, this is James. We realize it's been about 11 months since we last released a video. A couple of changes here in the Hogan household. We have a new couch. We are also 6 months pregnant, which is very exciting. And because of that, I have felt like a gigantic princess, and that reminded me that we had all the footage filmed 11 months ago for the game we're going to be covering today, which is called Fat Princess.
Yeah, so we definitely played it already.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, so this is not a fresh take, but we both had no idea what this game is going into it. We definitely have some strong feelings about this game. I have the physical copy here, which you can't see because of the glare. And the reason why we got the physical copy, because there was that whole problem with the PlayStation Store going down months ago that they decided not to do, except for the PSP fans out there, sorry about that. But we have the physical copy, we got on Amazon, so we're going to give it a shot. Let's see what we think.
The following excerpt was written by Mitch Carpata, a freelance video game writer for Kill Screen magazine. Fat Princess for the PS3 from Titan Studios. You would think that a world in which slices of delicious birthday cake spontaneously appear in a meadow would be a great place to live. Not so in the land of Fat Princess, which would be a magical Disney-esque realm were it not for the endless war between two groups of elves, each vying to kidnap the other team's princess and imprison her in their castle.
Heal the boys!
Oh, they have the princess! We haven't done anything, but they have the princess. Save them.
A win is a win is a win.
Following the standard rules of multiplayer capture the flag, Fat Princess carves out a niche within the silliness of its setting and the gentleness of its play. At the game's start, players spawn as elves on their side of the map. Elves can wear many hats, literally. Throughout each castle are machines that belch out different hats, each of which grant its wearer a different ability.
Alright, let's be warriors. Me and you, warrior up.
Warrior the warrior, that's a warrior?
Yep. That's what we need. Come on, let's go kick some ass.
Picking up and donning an engineering hat will allow an elf to repair a damaged castle wall and upgrade the hat machines. The ranger hat makes an elf a long-range threat.
Wow, I killed that guy dead.
The priest hat can heal allies, and so on and so forth. Choosing one hat doesn't lock a player into a class for the rest of the game. The hats can be easily changed at will. Can I take your hat?
I'm dead.
Can I? Oh, you can take other people's hats!
How? How'd you do that?
When they're dead, you can lift up their hats. Okay. Alright.
They're not dead! They're not dead!
Unlike most competitive online games, Fat Princess doesn't play like a blood sport. Elves do battle and can be killed, but combat is so simple, with the control consisting of just 2 buttons, that winning a fight feels like a coin flip more than anything. The emphasis is on trying to perform well at whatever job you're currently doing, despite the various distractions. Navigating world maps in particular can be highly hazardous, especially when shifting between lava pools and occasional trampolines. Oh, and the cake? You feed it to your own princess so that she gains weight and it's harder for your opponents to carry her away. There's no designated job class for cake feeding. It's just the right thing to do. Okay, Fat Princess. Let me start out by saying I really wanted to like this game. I thought it looked cute, fun, and while the title didn't age well, I can get behind a tongue-in-cheek joke.
Fat Princess is an action real-time strategy game. The game is multiplayer and supports up to 32 people playing at a time. The goal of the main mode of the game is usually to recapture your kingdom's princess who's being held in the dungeon of the neighboring kingdom. At the same time, your dungeon holds the princess of the other kingdom. You need to prevent them from rescuing her, so it's a twist on capture the flag. The main way you prevent the enemy team from recapturing their princess is to feed her cake so she becomes too heavy to carry. Each piece of cake you feed her allows her to gain weight for a short period of time, so one strategy would be to identify someone whose job it is to feed the princess cake to keep her heavier and therefore more difficult to capture.
There are 6 main character classes, and 3 alternate classes available through the DLC, which we did not try. The classes include Villager, Worker, Priest, Ranger, Mage, and Warrior. You're able to change your class mid-battle by going to your base, or more realistically, dying and respawning at your base.
Retreat! Retreat! Get your husband.
Come here! Put on a hattie hat! We initially read the basic overview provided and attempted to jump into a game right away, which didn't work out well. Get out of here, you maid.
But die.
What the fuck? How do we not die? So from there, we decided to play through the story mode, which was basically just a chance to play through each of the game modes. While this provided some context, we were still pretty lost on how to do mostly anything. We did eventually figure some things out after reading online guides and several hours of gameplay.
There's one giant problem that I need to address, and that this is an online multiplayer game first and foremost. There is a rudimentary campaign that's really just a tutorial in disguise, and that's the footage that you're seeing now. So if you wanted to play this game today, like us, you're going to be stuck with the AI-controlled players, which are horrible. No! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Get over here. Why is he so fast?
We need your help!
So bad, in fact, that it prevented us from completing the tutorial/campaign. I don't think it's impossible to beat it, but I'll tell you, it's so frustrating, it's not worth the time.
In terms of music and setting, the game is cute. Something I really liked was that there's an option to turn off gore so that when you kill an enemy, there's no blood. The game isn't heavy on gore to begin with, but I like that they had the option to make the game able to be geared more towards younger kids. However, although being cute does set it apart from many other games in this genre, it wasn't enough to keep our interest.
The controls were extremely simple since you only use 3 buttons throughout the entire game. However, it wasn't intuitive. It was also difficult to keep track of your character, and if you were playing 2-player, the lack of split screen was a huge problem. The reason being that if one of you died, the other person would have to go back to the castle to resurrect them. You can't go off alone. Certain levels were also poorly designed. There was one level that comes to mind where there's lava that kept rising that would cover up parts of the map. So you would just be sitting there waiting for the lava to go back down so you can continue on with the mission. All this did was just waste time and didn't really add any strategy to the game.
Actually, the lava level is a good example of how frustrating the AI was. They seem to have no self-preservation instinct, constantly throwing themselves into the lava or in front of a ranged attack with no way for us to control or stop them. Eventually, we found out you can recruit up to 3 AI characters to be part of your party. But even then, that means that they just follow you around on the map. You can't actually control what they choose to do, and they usually choose the option that makes the least amount of sense.
Good. They all just died.
Why, guys?
All in all, despite putting a good 6 hours into the game, we were unable to complete it. While part of that was due to frustration, the main reason we stopped was because although it had components to be a really good game, in the end, it just wasn't. Alright, so, Fat Princess, what did you think?
Hated it. And I did not want to hate it. I was the one that picked doing this game next. I was really excited about it. It looked really cute. But there's absolutely no reason this game should be in this book. It is absolutely not a game anyone needs to play before they die. And it was so frustrating and irritating that we stopped filming for 11 months because we were like, are all the games gonna be like that? And just could not do it.
So, I don't think it was as bad as she thought it was. When you write a book of 1001 games to play before you die, there's a couple problems that come with that. Number one, how do you choose 1,001 games, and what qualifies a game that you have to play before you die?
But there's also high expectations. You're like, okay, these are it. These are the 1,001 games.
There are high expectations, but a lot of the things that are in this book are like goofy, unique games. Like Monkey Ball isn't gonna light the world on fire. It's one of my personal favorite games of all time, but if someone hated it, I wouldn't like be shocked by it. The problem that they could have avoided, though, with 1,001 games to play before you die, that means you're going to be born, live your whole life, and then die playing these 1,000 games, is that they're picking games that are online only. So I know Battlefield 2 is in this book, and I don't know what we're going to do about that. We're just going to have to skip it, so we have 1,000 games to play before we die. But there's going to be a handful of them as well. We started the video talking about how the online stores are going down, and there's a lot of digital games that are in this book as well as the same problem. And they should have had the foresight of knowing before you die, that might be longer than 6 years. You might live a full life, and these games are going to disappear. So that's my problem with the game. Thank God this had some kind of rudimentary campaign so we could at least try it. I don't even know if the flaws that we have are honestly legitimate, because the game might be great when you're playing with humans and everyone's thinking for themselves and going on their own actions. But
I don't know if it would be.
It's cute. The music works. I like the graphics. The idea of capture the flag spun on its head. I like it. If it was done in a different game, it'd probably be pretty cool. But again, it's online only. So even if there was good to be found in this game and you at home could enjoy playing this game, you can't. Unless if you have 31 friends, a bunch of PlayStations, a bunch of these physical copies of the game, and local area network, everything together to make it happen. That's just not going to happen. It's hard enough getting 10 people to play Bomberman and Sega Saturn. That happened like 3 times in the world. You're not playing Fat Princess. It's just not happening. So I can't say it's going to be 1,001 games to play before you die. Watch a YouTube video. Watch a better YouTube video about it. and that's all you need to see. And that's the game.
Alright, so we clearly don't endorse it being part of the book. I think having a capture the flag game in the book is important. I think that there's better ones that they could have picked from.
There's probably better ones in there.
There's probably better ones in here. We don't know. We haven't played all of them. Clearly, it's video 3. But we are planning on continuing to make content. We are not going to commit to any kind of time frame of when that content will be out. But we have already picked out our next game. We are very excited to start playing it. We are going to try to get better with it. And future videos might have a cameo from our screaming future child while we play video games.
Future videos. But thank you so much for watching. We definitely appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you sooner than 11 months for sure. For sure. Performance system update, I guess.
But you don't want to play online, you want to play with yourself, right?